As you look at this Virginia team, you obviously beat them soundly not that long ago. They're playing a different lineup. They have some different guys in and out. How different do they look to you at this point?
Well, I mean, they're starting to find a groove, and just like every coach and every program, and sometimes it takes you a little time to get kind of a rotation. But I think they're feeling comfortable with the rotation, and obviously the two guards are really good, and they go as they go. You know, Beekman's fantastic, and McNeely, when he's making shots, I mean, he's as good as anybody in the country. And so that's, they just, I like what they've done, and obviously Tony's kind of figured things out about his team, and when you add Minor, who's starting to play a lot better inside, and it gives you just a tremendous lift, and those guys are really good and doing some good things right now. And Dunn is obviously, it's hard for me to go through talking about UVA without mentioning Dunn, because he caused such a problem for you because his athletic ability and be able to rebound the ball and get out in transition when he needs to.
And you mentioned Minor, 22 for them. How important has his screen game been and some of the physicality he brings on both ends in changing them?
Well, he reminds you of a lot of the former, centers that have played for Virginia when you talk about his physicality, being able to defend. And, I think a lot of times he can defend, without having to draw a double team at times to help. And he's just a big presence around the basket. He knows who he is, and he plays well off of those guards.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Mike.
Greg Medea, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Kevin, one more on Virginia. With Isaac McNeely leading the conference in three-point percentage, when Virginia's going well offensively, what are they doing to get him good looks from three?
I mean, he just every good 3-point shooter moves well without the basketball, and he's starting to do that. And I'm looking at Georgia Tech, he shot his threes from different ways and got out in transition. Some of it was off of the mover blocker, but I think Beekman and the rest of the team understand his ability to knock down shots, and so I think they look for him on flare and fade screens a lot, but he's scoring in a different ways. It's weird because even though he shoots the ball so well, sometimes people have breakdowns and he's wide open, which really blows my mind. But that happens because he can move so well without the basketball.
Does he get lost sometimes for a defense because they're worried about Beekman or now with Harris maybe driving the ball? Does he get lost sometimes?
I don't know if he gets lost or not, but I hope we don't lose him. I tell you what, because he can make shots. I mean, when a guy, like, you shouldn't be able to get lost when you're shooting 50-some% in ACC play from three.
Thanks.
Corey Smith, go ahead, sir.
Kevin, I know you don't like talking about the net very much, but you do have two pretty big opportunities this upcoming week in the net on the road. A UVA team ranked inside the top 50, so that would be a quadrant one potential win. And then you've got Syracuse kind of teetering around that line as well. How big of an opportunity is this week for your team to not only help themselves and get wins and try to move up in the ACC, but also build that resume, which is obviously important once March rolls around?
Yeah, you know what? This is a great opportunity week. Two really good teams on their home floor, two teams who are playing really good basketball when you look at, both of them coming off of, Georgia Tech, and then obviously the way Syracuse played against Miami. And so, these are opportunities. Our league, unfortunately, Corey, is getting dinged for playing good basketball among each other. And it's funny because you have to try to figure out how to win some of these teams where the numbers are bigger than the other groups, which doesn't make sense. But if you're going to get credit for quad one wins, these are two great opportunities, and it's tough because I think every road win is really good in this league, but because everyone has a number attached to them, these are a little bit better opportunities.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
Kip Coons, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, Kevin. Just wondering, Saturday's game, what does it say about the resilience of your team to respond the way they did late after being down, and especially with you not on the bench? I mean, that's that's had to be more difficult for them to pull out a win.
Kip, you're talking about Tuesday win against Wake. You muted yourself, Kip. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I misspoke. I meant Tuesday's game against Wake.
It just we're fighting. I mean, I looked at our schedule last year, and around this time we were after 7 games, we're 4-3. We're 5-2, but this team's got a lot of fight in them. Our league's got a lot of fight in us, and just to respond. And one of the things that I told those guys when I exited the game. Is to continue to fight and let's just see what happened. And that's kind of been a theme of our group, just to play to the end, even in defeat against Virginia Tech this weekend. I thought we made the game a little interesting in the last 2 minutes, but because our guys fought and clawed and everything else. But I think that's just who we are. And I like the makeup of this team because we're going to play all the way to the end.
Noah Fleischman, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, is there anything after looking back at Saturday's game that, when you look at it defensively, that allowed Couture to get going in that 7 or 8 minute stretch that allowed Virginia Tech to pull ahead?
Yeah, no, I just thought we didn't defend. We gave up 51 points in the second half, and that's really that hasn't been the identity of this team. And when you dial it back, I thought both Padula and Couture made both big plays for Virginia Tech down the stretch, and they both drove the ball. They made some plays at the rim, and we didn't lock in as we did. It was a great first half where I think both teams were stingy defensively, but in the second half, I thought I didn't think we applied the same pressure. I thought we relaxed a little bit, and towards the end of the game, I thought they made some really good plays, and credit those two guys for being hungry and pushing their team over the hill.
And then you play Virginia again. What is how much harder, I guess, is it to play a team for the second time, in the same season? I think this is the first one you guys will see for the second time so far this year.
Well, it's hard. It's hard on both ends because both teams will make some adjustments, and the things that we done well, we'll try to strengthen, and things that we didn't do well, we'll try to get better at. But it's who we are, and like, playing them the second time or playing them the first time, it's still a tough opponent. They do a good job. I think they've really done a great job protecting home court, and so obviously it'll be a great opportunity for us.
All right, last question will come from James Henderson. Go ahead, James.
Hey, Kevin, hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask you about DJ Burns and just in terms of the different coverages he faces, do you ever give him advice, or is that just a feel thing that you tell him to go out and kind of just make plays based on what you feel like? Because it looked like maybe a little bit the last game he was getting kind of, I don't want to say passive, but stagnant a little bit.
No, I mean we James, we try to prepare him for what we think the other team's going to do. Now, of course, this in certain situations, people make adjustment, but he's been guarded in every different way, from big to big traps to guys just sitting in his lap as a passer, and or trapping from the help side on the bottom side. We try to give him a good playbook about what we think is going to happen, and for the most part, he's done a good job with it. I think sometime he's fallen in love a little bit, James, as being a great passer, which that happens. But you're glad that you have a post guy who is a willing passer. But sometimes we just want him just to go score and just kind of figure out what the defense is doing. But I think if I had to grade him, you look at what he's done as a post guy in our league, being able to score when he needs to score, and then people taking the ball out of his hand. He's been efficient in finding people. I think he's tough to guard because you kind of got to pick your poison. Do you trap him and let him pick you apart by getting the ball to other guys, or do you just let him score and see what happens? And so I think that's one of the biggest adjustments. But we try to give him a kind of a blueprint of what we think that the other team may do.